The simple definition of innovation is inventions which are commercially viable, right? So you do have a novelty factor to it. That's where the invention comes in. And then you are saying that, well, can somebody make money out of that? Which means that, can I bring it to the market where customers are willing to pay a price which is more than the cost that I have incurred in bringing it to the market? Right? So this is a very simplistic definition of innovation. Now, the issue is that today in organization, you will not find this link very strong. You will find a knowledge management department, which is typically under probably information systems or quality, and then you will have a separate innovation department. And I think that is where the problem is. That's where the challenge is. Again, you go back to what I was talking initially. I think today knowledge management systems are largely being used for standardization of operations, for increasing reuse, which means that I know something and let others quickly come to know about it. People are still stuck to the stage of production and not really thinking about driving the KM system to come up with new ideas. And this is where there is a very strong difference between knowledge that can be put into a letter, put into a document, versus knowledge which cannot be done. This is true for most knowledge products, right? I mean, in knowledge products, they do not depreciate with usage. If you know something and you discuss with somebody else, then its value increases. But there is something very interesting here, and these are the two forces which work in knowledge management initiatives. One is, of course, that if you encourage people to talk about what they know and what they have learned, then the employee is not losing anything, and there is increasing returns to it. So people will learn, and the organization will benefit from it. However, in many organizations today, especially organizations which are fairly knowledge intensive, knowledge is viewed as source of power. So there is this issue that people will think that if I tell others what I know, then my value in the organization will go down. So there is this issue that people would love to hold on to that knowledge. That's one. Second thing, suppose you have solved a problem, and suppose you come and tell me, will I be open enough to take that solution? Because in a very traditional way, we have always been taught that solve your own problem, right? In school, that's what you have been taught, that never copy from somebody, never cheat from somebody. You have to solve your own sum, even if the whole class have solved that sum. That's the way in which we have learned ourselves. And when we come to organization, we are saying just the reverse. We are saying, well, it is better to copy. So if, Amit has solved a problem, then you don't solve the problem, just come and replicate that. So at a very philosophical level, I think it is right that, knowledge has increasing returns. But in ground reality, we need to understand what are typically the problems associated with these kind of approaches. One sector probably which is already capitalizing on this is the pharmaceutical sector, where you will find that the large firms who are the original inventors, they are realizing that just because they are very large and big, it makes them a little bit problematic when it comes to innovation. So they are good in distribution, they are good in marketing, but in innovation, which needs nimble, small firms, very, very flexible, they are not very good at. Now, I think that is one area where some of the Indian firms, especially from the biotechnology sector, are doing quite well. They are saying that we will act as your contract research labs. So they will do some amount of initial fundamental research, and then they will pass it on to the larger firms who are most probably located in developed economies, and who can take it up and do their sets of clinical trials and distribution and marketing, etc., etc. So I think that's one area where they are doing well. But I think there is a problem in other areas. For example, today you do not find too much of innovation happening in the software industry. Right? We don't have products in the software industry, and the reasons are very deep rooted. I mean, there is lack of venture capital. There is this relatively easy way of making money out of software services, and whole lot of factors. So I think yes, India can act as an outsourced destination for innovation, but before that, I think Indian firms need to be a lot more innovative. I mean, if what is happening selectively in pharmaceutical sector, I don't see that happening in many other sectors.